Hey everybody, welcome back to Airsoftology Mondays, the show that answers your questions, helps you out in a pinch, and also has a fantastic giveaway this week. Yep, it's a huge one, and it goes along with the theme of this video. I'm your host, Jonathan Higgs, and that's right, big giveaway and big news on this show. This show, if you guys were watching last week, is all about your HPA questions, or high pressure air. We are dealing with Polar Stars, Protechs, Wolverines, V12s, all the stuff, Tippmans, everything HPA related. So the good, the bad, and sometimes the ugly. But before we get into questions, big news on a contest and a big thanks to Protech and Amped Airsoft, who have really helped us get this show pulled together. I really want to thank them a lot, and they're thanking you guys. They have a contest running, and this one starts on Monday morning. So when you're watching this bright and early, you'll be able to click the link and actually enter this thing. This is fantastic. It is a Crytek LVOA Protech Mark II giveaway, and it's going to be their drop-in engine. It's going to be their full Crytek LVOA that's been converted by Amped using the Protech engine, as well as tanks and everything. In fact, if you guys, this is a huge giveaway. I mean, it's a full kit ready to go. Super simple. If you guys want to check it out, it's really simple. AmpedAirsoft.com/win. That's it. I'll have a link right here on the screen, and of course down in the description below. Take you right on over. But wait till we're done with the video here. I want you guys to watch the whole video with HPA questions, or at least just hit pause and then go check it out right now. Then come on back. Welcome back. See, I knew you'd come back. So anyway, yeah, that's the contest, guys. That's it. You can go enter and just, it's like a little bit of information. You get signed up, and I think there's some extra ways to win there as well. So big thanks to them for supporting this and supporting you guys with a fantastic contest. I think, keep in mind though, it is US only for this one, and I think it's open to age 13 and up. If you're under 18, you have to have a parent sign off on it, but that's no big deal. That's legal just because, you know, you got to do that with Airsoft in the United States. All right, guys, well, enough of that. Let's dive on into what you're here for, and that is the Palco Mail Call. James Gilmore writes in with a bunch of good questions, but I want to hit one here very importantly. Can I fill my HPA system off a compressor I use for car tires? No, you can't, not directly. You're gonna need a special compressor if you wanna do it yourself at home to fill your HPA system. And there's actually out there's a few different ones. The most affordable one is gonna be called a shoebox compressor, and it's gonna be nearly $1,000 to make that happen. The reason is, your compressor for your car tires or whatnot will maybe get to about 120, 130 PSI. Some of them can go even up to like 200 PSI. So that's pounds per square inch. The tank that your HPA gun is 3,000 PSI, or some of them are even 4,000 PSI. They are very, very high pressure. I mean, extremely. That's why they're called HPA, or high pressure air. So on those, you're gonna need a compressor or a system that's capable of getting it to that level. So you're gonna spend a pretty penny. You're gonna need to get one of those shoebox compressors or a scuba tank system. And those can be $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, and even north of $10,000 for some of the more professional systems you'll find at paintball fields and at scuba places. So with that in mind, go find a scuba shop, go find your local paintball field or airsoft field that hopefully they have one in place. They made that investment. You'll be able to fill it up. Most people though, definitely the way to go is finding that scuba shop. It's very affordable. Usually you can get a regular size tank filled for around $4 or $5 US. Jake Riley writes, what are your thoughts on the Mancraft PDIK and SDIK? I've never seen one around here in the US, and they are such a great price points for HPA engines. So it's funny you mentioned that. A buddy of mine just got one of the Mancraft in. If you guys aren't familiar with what Mancraft is, it's based out of Europe. I forget the country it's from, but I'm sure you guys, you smart ones out there, are gonna be able to put that answer right down in the comment section below. It is a conversion kit for your sniper rifle. So it allows you to convert the bolt in your sniper rifle to an HPA system. And even more than that, it actually uses a 12-gram cartridge that goes in the stock of your sniper rifle. So it's fully self-contained. It's a really, really neat system. And the price point is actually pretty good. In fact, you can pick one of these up for about the price or even less than the price of upgrading a VSR-10 to an acceptable level to get it moving and running perfectly. So it's a good option. And with the 12 grams, I think you can get like between 70 and 100 shots out of it. So if you've never heard of it, this is probably one of those HPA systems that's flown under the radar. Also on that same note, Wolverine's coming out with something very similar to drop into the VSR-10 systems to change that bolt out for an HPA, and it should be out sometime in 2016, later on this year. We're actually recording this about early to mid 2016. So yeah, guys, keep your eyes on that. If you want to learn more, I'll try to find a link to that Mancraft site and put it down there so you guys can go check it out and see what I'm talking about. The Barbershop writes in again with another big full block of great questions, but I'm going to grab one here from the middle. Do you think milsim companies are moving towards unbanning or limiting HPA guns, or more towards giving them fair rules to keep everyone happy? It really depends on the milsim event. If you're looking at, like, let's say Lion Claws or American Milsim, which I actually go to quite a bit, they are very HPA friendly. In fact, American Milsim even has a fill station on site, which is a really hard thing to come by when you're going to a Milsim op, to actually have a way to fill that tank throughout the day, because it can be a little taxing, you know, talking about 24, 36 hours of play. They're very HPA friendly. They have rules around it. They know how to chrono. They understand the concept of it, chronoing with heavier weight BBs. In fact, are supported by some great HPA companies. On the flip side, you have Milsim West. Now, the reason Milsim West is not, they discourage highly HPA, is because, not because they're anti-HPA, it's because they promote realism. Milsim West is a very immersive Milsim event, and the HPA system with lines and all that do take away from the whole immersion of it. Now, have I seen people use them there? Yes, I have. I've seen them used effectively, of course, because at Milsim West games, you don't have like a lot of shooting. I mean, in fact, they actually issue you ammo, which is, I think, pretty cool to really worry about conservation of ammo. So there's none of the real concerns about turning the gun up too hard or dealing with, like, let's say, insane rate of fire. You'll dump through your ammo quick and then you're up a creek. So with that in mind, I think the Milsim promoters are all, in their own way, pro-HPA. Now, again, like I said, Milsim West kind of dissuades you from it because of the realism factor, but that's the only reason. It's not because they don't like HPA as a platform. Now, some fields are dealing with HPA problems, and I've kind of addressed that in a previous video, talking about the challenges around that. Again, not to get on a soapbox, I think it can be managed very effectively as long as you understand the concepts of how HPA works, and you ref against the person that's being the bad player versus the actual problem around HPA, which there isn't one. It's the user, not the tool. Scarecrow Airsoft writes, hey Jonathan, I have an HPA question for you. So I recently picked myself up a Tippmann M4 carbine, and people don't like the fact I'm running HPA. Is there any way you can think of on how to fix the hate? I know a lot of people who run HPA systems don't play by the rules, or at least from my experience, but that's 10% ruining it for the rest of us honest HPA users. Absolutely. There's a lot of hate going on right now with HPA. It's terribly unfortunate that the HPA users as a whole are really getting that, and talking about fields that have outright banned HPA, fields that have segregated HPA to play on their own. It gets bad. It's really bad. And I agree with you 100%. It is absolutely not the system. It's the people that want to turn it up to 60 rounds a second and put that many BBs in the air at any given time and really do it to hurt people. Or turn their guns up to high FPS after they've chronoed. And I think the problem falls squarely on the field owner for not understanding how to chrono, use tournament locks. All the systems are in place right now to make sure HPA is done right and you can't cheat after you do it. It's the same system as paintball has. It's super simple. But with that in mind, the Tippmann is a unique beast. The Tippmann, although it is HPA, the rate of fire is so low in comparison, or at least the maximum rate of fire on the Tippmann is so low that it's not even in the same category. You couldn't even turn this thing all the way up if you wanted to. Now, with that in mind, they're probably seeing your tank, they're probably seeing your hose, and they're going, oh great, he's an HPA user. One thing you can do, I know it costs some money, is switch over to the Tippmann magazines that take the 12 grams inside. And it's a little more work, it means less shots for you, and you have to use their mags instead of using any AEG mag, which is kind of one of the benefits of the Tippmann. You've got both of those options. You can run the external tank with whatever mag you want, or you can run their mags and have everything self-contained. Alternately, I don't know if anybody's done this and modded in like a Redline type stock into one of those. I'm not even sure if that's possible. If somebody's done that, please let me know in the comment section below. But I think it's just something that you have to educate people, and the best thing you can do is, you know what, let them shoot it. Let them understand what the system can do and show them that Tippmann is totally safe, and all HPA is very safe if used by a responsible user who follows all the rules. All right, guys, that's it for questions this week, which means it is time for the Code Red Headsets video recommendation of the week. And this one comes from one of you guys. I'm trying to do more of this. I'm trying to I love how in the comments you're putting great recommendations. This one comes from Ricochet Arms, actually recommended this. And the video of the week comes from, and I got to pull up my cheat sheet here because I can't remember everything. It's actually on Juicified83's the channel on YouTube, and the actual video is called Operation Jericho, a military action short. This was a home shot movie, I guess a film project for these guys, or just something they're doing for fun. fantastically shot. I mean, absolutely blown away. There's some of these you watch and, you know, they're cringeworthy. They're kind of like if I was going to shoot an action short, I watch it like, oh God, I can't believe I did that, you know? It's kind of rough to watch. This one, very well done. I mean, absolutely well done. It's got a handful of views. It's got like about 250,000 views on it, but for the quality of this video and the number of subscribers they have on the channel, really blown away. They don't have more subs and more views on this video because of the production value. These guys, I'll be working for them one day if I stay in the film industry, that's for sure. So guys, if you want to check it out, definitely give it a look. It's called Operation Jericho, a military action short, and it's from the channel called Juicified83. And of course, as always, I'll have a link over here. You can click this box or down in the description below so you can check out the video. All right, guys, that's it for this week's Airsoftology Mondays. As always, thank you so much for hanging out here and spending your Monday with me, or if it's Tuesday, if you watch it a little later, I'm okay with that. It's all right, don't worry. But no, I really do love it. I say this every show, and I mean it. I seriously do mean it. How cool you are down there in the comment section, helping each other out. It's kind of become like its own little mini forum underneath every little Mondays where you guys help each other out, answering the questions. I do read them all. I just can't answer them all. I wish I could. I mean, I would spend like every waking moment if I could do it, answering your guys' questions. But be persistent. If you guys want to get your question on the show, it is simple. Put it down there in the comment section below. Like I said, be persistent. Vote up your favorites. I pick some of the favorite ones and also pick some that are kind of deep that maybe you don't get looks, that are good questions. So remember, think good questions. Next week, we're back to normal format. This week was the HPA only show. Next week, it's wild card. Go ahead and do whatever you want like we normally do on the Mondays. So every question is fair game. Also, don't forget that contest is running. Remember, the link's down there in the description if you guys want to check out the Protech and Amped Airsoft HPA Crytek LVOA giveaway. Killer package. I wish I could enter myself, but I can't because it's my contest. But yeah, definitely get that entered in there. It's gonna be running for about a month. The end date and all the details, when you click the link, it'll take you over to all of it so you can figure out all the good stuff. You know how much time you have to enter, but you do have about a month or so from the original airing of this video to get all in. I think it's the 27th is when it's gonna end, of June. I think it's, yeah, June 27th is gonna be the end date. But I'll have more on that. I'll let you guys know. I'll let you know before the whole contest ends. But anyway, until next week, go out, play some airsoft, have some fun. But no matter what you do, call your freaking hits.